Okay. Hey guys, I'm so glad that you came to this class. I decided to call this class Mending Hope because to me it is about a hope that there is possible recovery from depression and anxiety. Like you can feel better, feel like yourself, feel even more vibrant than you ever have before after overcoming something that big. And I am living proof that this is true. So you have more power over your brain chemistry than you probably have been taught to believe. And too many people don't know that in the United States, 1 out of every 5 adults will experience depression in their lifetime, and it's 1 out of every 6 children will experience depression as children, this rising generation. And it's not just an American problem. Depression is the leading cause of disability worldwide. Children that deal with depression are less likely to get married. They have higher unemployment rate, and they're more likely to abuse substances, 40% more likely in fact, because of how we feel. So it's a big problem, and there's a big audience, and if that's not the boat that you're in, then definitely take this message to someone in your life, because you probably all have multiple someones in your life who need this message. And I know that since just like sitting in a group this big, that I know that there's going to be some people who feel like I'm definitely okay with my depression medications, thanks. I don't want to get off of them, but I think that I would like to do something more because it's not quite enough. And then there's going to be folks in the middle, and then there's going to be folks on the other end that are saying, I'm going to look really hairy for a while until I figure this out because I won't do medication. So like, just know that wherever you're at in your journey, whatever that has looked like, please don't feel judged. Please feel welcome. Please know that everything that I tell you, your doctor will be like, yes, cool, do that. Because this is all lifestyle things that have studies behind them, proven that they work. So I can't wait to tell you about them because it's legitimate. I'm not like going to sell you some woo-woo stuff. Everyone cool with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay. And who am I to tell you? I am what they call in the mental health world a peer, because I have been through the pit and out the other side. That's the nicest way to say that. I know what it's like to not want to get out of bed. I know what it's like to wring my hands with anxiety and not be able to think clearly because of my mental health fog. Idaho is the 5th leading state for suicide rate, which I'm really sad about. We've got to do something better and different. So, I'm like the happiest, super cheerfulest person. Like, I never ever thought that I would go through this issue. In fact, I always thought people that had depression just like, buck up, like just figure it out, just get out of bed, just make things happen, just choose to be cheerful. And so this was a good journey for me. Maybe I hesitate. Good journey? I don't know. This was maybe a good journey for me to be able to see. A necessary journey. Thanks for that distinction. And when this when this came into my life, when depression, perinatal depression, and postnatal anxiety came into my life, I was just starting to figure out that whoa, things aren't normal and they're not getting better, and I'm kind of in this dive. And that's usually stage 1. There's 5 stages of recovery from depression. And stage 1 usually looks like, hey, what's up with all these new symptoms? This isn't me, is what people will say in stage 1. And I knew this wasn't me. So here I go in to see my practitioner. And he kindly offered me the 2 options that are the most common for practitioners to offer, which are antidepressant medications and psychotherapy or seeing a counselor, talk therapy. Those are like the go-to tools that the medical world has. And just from my own past and seeing my mother deal with depression, I knew that that's not where I wanted to go. And so I asked, is there anything else? And he said, I don't have anything else for you, Rebecca, but if anyone can figure it out, I know you can. So I left with like no answers and worked for a while to figure things out. And I did extreme things, like I hacked things out of my diet, and I ran until I had a runner's high, and like I figured things out. But it took me like 18 months to regulate. Does that to get to the point where I'm like, okay, I feel good most of the time. And I forgot to say, when I left my practitioner, I went into stage 2 of recovery. Stage 2 of recovery is where you lose yourself. When you give into it, you've maybe been diagnosed and you say, okay, this is my new normal. I have to get used to life being different. That's stage 2. I had to let go of the things that I loved. I had to let go of business. I had to let go of, I was homeschooling somewhere in there, and I had to let go of that. I had to let go of being outgoing and being with my friends all the time, and my music. I was playing the cello a lot in those days. I let go of a lot of things so that I could enjoy this new normal life, right? So that was stage 2. Forgive me that I didn't say that in the right place. But anyways, I started telling people, hey, I figured it out. There's a lot of pieces, but this is what it looks like. And I started barfing all the answers on people. I mean, it feels like it's going to be so hard. And I know that when you're like not even normally functioning, when you're on the low side of functioning with depression and anxiety, like that's so far away, that's not real.
Because you're having struggling with your normal life, much less adding something else to it.
Yeah.
Survival mode, I feel like.
Survival mode. Yeah. Every day at the end of your rope. Yep, I've been there. And so I don't know why it took me so long to click, oh, right, that's why people don't want to hear my message. So I did some research and I went and found out, okay, so I know that exercise is helpful. How little exercise will give you results? And I found that answer, and I'll tell you about it tonight. And I found 7 other really simple baby steps that are cheap or free, and you can do them at home in less than an hour. And I feel like, okay, let me just say it slowly. In Idaho, especially in this area, we have a 24-day wait time from I need an appointment, something's bad, and I need to do something, to actually getting in and seeing somebody. 24 days. And after the first appointment, and the first medication is given, and the cycling that has to happen to find the right brand and the right dose, and there's like a 4-month commitment process. In that time, where most patients struggle their worst, we could be doing these 7 things, and we could be feeling better in 10 days. So I feel like this should be the first line of defense. Like maybe alongside of the other things that we already do, but at least first line. Does that make sense to you? You have to believe, okay, if I try this one thing, will it be worth it soon?
It's absolutely making a difference for you. It's for your betterment.
Yeah, I think so. But most people have to start with that little bit of faith, and the faith is rewarded immediately. So I eventually ran into this gentleman. His name is Dr. Nedley, and he wrote that law cert. I think he's an internal medicine practitioner, and found out that a lot of his patients, a lot of internal medicine patients, deal with depression. And he's like, oh, not my patients, that's not true. But it was true for him. So he had to figure this depression thing out. And this is the book that he wrote, and he found that there are hundreds of causes of depression, but most of them fit into 10 different categories. And 8 of them are reversible. So leaving you with maybe if you have both double whammy, the other 2 things, the other 2 causes, that can't automatically be reversed, it usually takes 4 of these causes in manifesting in your life in order to start manifesting depression symptoms. So in other words, if we can get rid of 8 of them and you're only left with 2, most people can pull out of depression through means of the other 8. Does that make sense to you guys?
That's nice.
So the baby steps that I put together address the 8 concerns that we can deal with. So those, in case you're wondering what they are, the first is, these are the 10 categories of causing depression. Genetics, past trauma, frontal lobes, poor circulation to the frontal lobe, other medical conditions, nutrition problems, addiction, poor circadian rhythm, toxicity, social grief, like losing someone that you love. You can eventually work through that. And then the last one is a sedentary lifestyle. So out of those 10, we can work with 8. There is hope. Everyone can recover. Okay, baby step number 1. So I'm giving these to you in the order that they're the most helpful according to studies. And so this is printed off the computer, and it will say, here's the research in the blue hyperlink here, and obviously you can't click on it on the paper. So if you want me to email this to you, you can click on it in your email if you want the research. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so the very first thing, the top thing that can help, proven to help even more than medication or cognitive behavioral therapy, either one, which isn't super hard because only 33% of patients feel like their depression medication is working well enough. So it's not really that hard to get over it. It's a low bar. Anyways, omega-3s beat that bar, and it's really likely if you're deficient in omega-3s that symptoms will begin to manifest. So that's the first thing. And Dr. Nedley recommends I put on there 3,000 milligrams of omega-3s every day. And you can, there's lots of ways to get them, but I always tell people what's easy and cheap and shelf stable are seeds, nuts and seeds. And so the recipe that he has there on that sheet says walnuts and flax seeds. And there's lots of ways to get them into your diet. I have one example there for you. I also brought a couple of my favorite recipes, and I brought some to try. So who wants to try a goodie? Ooh, okay.
Can I leave them for you?
Yeah, thanks.
It says flax meal. Now, does it matter if it's in seed form or ground up or anything? It's
That's a really good question. So flax seeds, whole, you don't digest them very well. So if you eat them whole, they'll most likely pass through into the toilet. So you want to grind them. And the more freshly ground they are, the better. But if you just buy flax meal, that's a big step.
the other day, but I can. How do you grind it? Like water and pestle, or
I have a coffee grinder.
So I would say,
I don't have one of those.
You can use a blender.
Okay.
You can smash them.
So I'll look and see if I've got an extra one. Thank you.
I mean, they're not super expensive either. Like you could probably go to a
like a
Goodwill or
secondhand
something.
store or something, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Cheers. Thank you.
You're welcome. So what's in these guys? I made these allergen free, just in
Please
case.
go ahead and serve her and let me know what is in there.
Okay, so in here is honey, flax seeds, chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, and hemp seeds. Yeah, there's no dairy, there's no gluten,
Thank you so much.
there's no tree nuts. So I usually recommend walnuts, but these don't have walnuts in them. Do you want one? Sure.
What would be a good substitute for walnuts? Because I don't do walnuts real well.
Hemp hearts, or any of those other fruit.
Yeah, those are
Do you like pecans?
I love pecans. I do too.
I have a here for you. The cameraman wants a snack.
They're delicious, by the way, for everybody
They are
watching.
delicious.
They like them. According to Dr. Nedley, most people can convert them in your body. So if you focus on seeds and nuts as your omega-3 source, you probably will get enough. There's a few people who don't, and in that case, you could definitely supplement with omega-3s. But in a quarter cup of seeds a day, you'll get as much as you need. Like, have you guys seen those drinks called Mama Chia drinks that have like the chia seeds floating in them? Thank you. They have like 3 tablespoons, I want to say, of chia seeds in them, and that's enough. That's all. That's more than 3 drops. Yeah, one of those. If you just can't even wrap your brain around grinding seeds, buy 1 Mama Chia a day. It's like $22.50. Like, that's not that expensive of a supplement. Okay, does that make sense to everyone? The other thing I will say when it comes to nutrition is a lot. Like, I can't tell you how many people I've worked through this program with. At the end, they didn't feel what they wanted to feel. They didn't feel better. And then we cut gluten out of their diet, and that was the missing link. Have you had that experience before?
It's just amazing how, it can make a change for the better, and nobody would believe it, but when you do, it really does.
It really can, yeah. So in the natural mental health world, they call it, like, you can get not diagnosed for celiac but still have this problem because it's a non-gluten wheat allergy. Does that make sense? So like, you're not allergic to the gluten, which is the protein in wheat, but you still have something.
So you wouldn't test that way, but there's something.
You wouldn't test for
something else.
celiac, right?
Okay.
But you would still respond to wheat. So I've had certain people say to me, yeah, I took wheat out and that was the big thing for me. So I'm not saying you have to do it, but I'm just suggesting if you've tried other things and it's not working, you still have some kind of emotional wheat, then that's something to try for sure. Don't rule it out. Okay. Of course, then I also have to throw in that greens, beans, mushrooms, onions, berries and beans and seeds. I said beans twice. They're that important.
G-bombs.
G-bombs. Greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, nuts
Seeds
and
and
seeds.
nuts.
Seeds and nuts. Yeah, thank you, Nikki.
G-bombs.
G-bombs. Yeah.
You gotta add the N. Nuts.
Oh yeah, G-bombs and
G-bombs.
G-bombs are super important in lots of areas of health, and mental health is no exception. If you're not getting those food groups in, then there's going to be holes missing. And we can fill them in other ways, but dude, it is the easiest to fill in with nutrition. Sweet. All right. That's the first thing. The second thing, according to Harvard Medical Journal, studies show that exercise is about as effective as depression medication. Did I say that right?
Yes.
About as effective as.
We got what you meant.
Thank you. So you don't have to run like me and get a high from endorphins because you're beating your body up. Literally 20 minutes a day from their studies. 20 minutes a day is all it takes to begin to see results with mental health. And I wish everyone knew that, like, AKA, work out today, feel better tomorrow.
That
That's
could
so
be anything
fast.
like yoga or walking or
Mhm.
just even simple exercise, right? It
Yes.
doesn't have to be, like you said, hardcore.
Doesn't have to be hardcore. You don't have to rock climb. Okay. Even if you love rock climbing, you can do simple things. And I want to say that the more that you get your heart rate up, the more effective that might be for you. But even if you're saying, I have balance problems, I can't get out of a chair very much, you can still do yoga in a chair and see results.
I heard about that yesterday.
You heard about chair yoga? It's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. Okay.
So cute.
Thanks. The third thing, there are a lot of studies that show that meditation is super effective against mental health issues. So this was a new one for me when I started my journey, and I thought meditation was kooky and everyone had to chant and it was going to be like with it. Doesn't have to like and beads and things like that were weird to me at the time.
I've totally owned before.
You've totally owned. I've done it now too, and it's not that weird. But it doesn't have to be as uncomfortable as that. If that's uncomfortable to you, it doesn't have to be like that. It could be as simple as repeating a word that you like peace, for 4 minutes until you feel better. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Totally. We're going to do a meditation in class tonight and a short yoga sequence because I just want you to feel how simple it can be. Dawn, if you're watching, get your brain wrapped around what we're going to do tonight. It's going to happen. You're going to love it.
Woo!
Woo! Okay. The next area of baby step is cold shower. So studies show that cold showers can actually change your nerve tone. And the more nerves that we change in our system, the more there's possible changes going on in your brain circulation. So the whole point of this cold shower thing, and actually Dr. Nedley recommends cycling between hot and cold water in your shower. The whole point is we're flushing a whole bunch of your tiny capillaries, and it's really boosting your circulation within just a few minutes. The reason we want your circulation boosted is because it will boost circulation in your brain. It takes a lot of work to finally get up to that brain, but if the circulation in your brain is improved, the health of your brain cells will improve, the brain chemistry we're looking to improve will also get better.
Do you feel like that would help other things besides depression?
Yes.
If you have circulation in your body?
Yes, so many things.
Okay.
One of the biggest things that they'll say in the naturopathic world is it boosts your immune system. So here's what we're doing. We've got blood vessels through our whole body, but we have thousands, millions probably of capillaries in our skin, and it's our biggest organ. So they're like miles and miles of tiny tubules. And when you put hot water on them, when you put hot water on your skin, what happens?
Warm up.
It warms up, turns pink.
It
Flush.
opens up, doesn't it? Open
It
up?
flushes, yes, because your body's like, okay, we're getting hot, we're gonna open up these blood vessels, and that's gonna let things flow really well. And then you cycle a cold water on there. So that's gonna tighten all those blood vessels. This is like mechanically
Exercising
pumping.
your blood vessels.
You're exercising your blood vessels. So good.
Who knew?
Who knew? It's as simple as turning the dial in your shower.
We're
Everyone
showering
can do it.
anyways, right? So
Hopefully.
Guts. It does take guts.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, like how cold? Like pretty close until you can't.
so if you get goosebumps, that's a good sign that you did it long enough.
It's just gradual, right?
You can, so if you just want to go from like warm to lukewarm and start with that, you will build up a tolerance to colder water. Like you're not going to be like jumping in ice water like Wim Hof.
Within 5 showers, I could go all the way cold 5 minutes.
Within 5 showers.
Really?
So, I wrote this cute thing I want you to hear. Studies
As cold as I could
show
possibly
that
get,
cold
yeah.
showers improve neurotransmitter balance for better mood. You were going to shower today's anyways, right? So give it a shot. It sounds uncomfortable, but so is having a meltdown in public. So what have you got to lose?
Fair enough.
All right.
I'm gonna do it.
I do it. I get in and turn the water on. Don't wait for it to get hot. I just get in there. It's like, wow, this is really refreshing. It's like refreshing. Now I'm ready for the warm water. Yeah.
I've had 2 ladies that have gone through my program tell me that was the thing for them. The cold showers, that was what made the biggest difference for them.
Especially when it's 100 degrees outside.
Oh,
This
right?
is in the winter.
Makes it easy.
This was in the winter when we're feeling it the most. Yeah. Okay. The next baby step is getting outside. So this is one that's not on your sheet, so write notes if you want to. But getting enough sunlight can help as much as depression medications as well. So when I wrote this originally, it was wintertime. And in Idaho, we're too far north, latitude-wise, to get much from the sun in the winter months. So you can even be outside for an hour, and you won't get enough sunlight.
You say vitamin D wise, it's just not gonna happen.
It's not enough vitamin.
Wow.
It's not enough to make vitamin D. So I think that's why we're one of the highest states. Like I wonder if all the states are on the top. I'll have to look at the map and find out. So in the summer, obviously right now, like 20 minutes outside is enough, right?
Well, plus we also have very short days in winter, which is depressing.
In
Anyways,
itself.
But
Yeah.
then I read this other
Just on its
study,
own.
also by Harvard, saying that just walking outside, sunny day, rainy day, doesn't matter. Just going for a walk outside is also mood beneficial. So even if it's winter, I'm still saying get your bummy outside because the fresh air and the cold breeze can do a lot for your spirit and your mind.
what about when you sit in the sunny window? Because I sit, like, I've got my own little spot, and I will sit there for hours and hours in the
Magic
wintertime
spot.
just because it feels so good. Do you absorb anything through the glass?
I would assume that you do. I mean, it takes like that dark covering so that you don't. I mean, like I've sunburnt my arm while I'm driving before, so I assume that you can.
Okay.
And there are also light boxes. So Eric and I both decided to get light boxes during the winter last year, and it helped me to regulate my sleep rhythm. So if you haven't tried them, they're usually less than $100, so try it.
A light box, you, what, get in it?
Not like a
What's
tanning.
a
Oh
light
no,
box?
it's like sorry, it's a lamp. That's a better word.
Oh, okay.
It's a lamp.
Are they the natural spectrum bulbs? Like I know they make some that go in.
Yours is.
Mine is. It's a daylight bulb, right?
I asked Scott a blue light, and it was more than $100.
Okay. How much
Is
was
it more effective?
I think mine was like 140,
Okay.
but it's rechargeable battery and portable, so you can take it camping or whatever.
Okay.
You don't have to have electricity to run it.
So you can be traveling and still keep up your pattern.
Yep.
Yep. That's good news. Do it. Okay. The
Angle.
next category of support support is meditation. And if you haven't seen my video on this, go back and watch. But it's meditation with darkness, with being comfortable, with music that's the right music, and with essential oils. That hits your brain in so many different ways. That tells your body in a lot of different pathways from the body up. It's time to relax. Hopefully you brought blankies or pillows or something. Okay, so we're gonna do that in our meditation class. And I found that like more than just a YouTube video meditation, more than that, when you add in all of these elements, like I feel it quickly. So that once again, meditation coupled with aromatherapy and however many of those other things you can pull in at the same session. But those are the two main points. Meditation is proven to reduce stress and anxiety, and so is aromatherapy. I can't believe I forgot to talk about the adaptive supplement from doTERRA during this presentation. Oh my gosh. The adaptive supplement set comes with a supplement to take internally, an oil that you can drip into a diffuser, and it also comes with a rolly bottle that you can put in your purse and take on the go. This set was specifically made to reduce stress and anxiety, and I think it's awesome, and I would encourage everyone to give it a try. Okay. Number 7 is asking for the right kind of support. So many people, like everyone that deals with a mood disorder has a support network, and oftentimes they really don't know what to do to be effective. And if they knew what to do, they would do it, but they feel helpless too. So if you read on this little sheet, the specific support you're looking for is help doing these other 7 habits that we just talked about. So if anything that we just talked about feels super unrealistic, ask for support in that, to do that thing. So like if it's totally ridiculous for you to think about exercising right now, ask a support person to help you do whatever you need to make it happen. If you need to borrow someone's stroller so you can take your kids and exercise, do it. If you need a babysitter, do it. If you need an exercise buddy to hold you accountable, get one. Like that's the support that will make a bigger difference right away, so your support person won't burn out either. And it's also really effective. This is like from more of a counseling advice kind of area. If you can say to your support person, I would really like help on Tuesday at this time for an hour. That's so much easier for them than like, oh yeah, call me anytime, because I don't really know what to do for someone with depression. Does that make sense? Yeah. A lot of the times our support network hasn't been through it, so they don't really know what you need. So if you can say to them, I need time that I can exercise and shower. I need you to just come sit with me for 5 minutes while I meditate to help hold my energy levels down. That's something physical. They can wrap their brain around it, they can do it, and they can be the better support for you that you've needed. Does that make sense, everyone? Yeah. You also won't burn them out as much. Okay, so that's the things. We've run through the list of all of them. Now we're gonna actually practice them. We'll practice 3 things tonight. We've eaten our omega-3s. We're going to do a flow in yoga that's actually a moving meditation. So I want you to know that there's different kinds of meditation. We're going to do a moving meditation, which you could also call it yoga. And then we're going to do a laying down meditation. Does that sound good to everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. I'm going to sign off because you guys don't need to watch us
You're not gonna,
forward folds and stuff.
you're not gonna record your flow?
I should record the yoga flow part.
Maybe they want to flow with us.
Maybe they want to flow with us. Oh, that's right. Because if Dawn's watching, I want her to flow with us.
Yep.
So if you're watching, I picked out essential oils. You guys you're welcome to smell them. So the oils that I use to meditate often with are Adaptive is often my first choice. Balance is often a second. Patchouli is another one that I love. Wild Orange is another one I love. Magnolia is one of my most favorites. Copaiba, chamomile. There's like so many to pick from, so don't feel like you're limited to 1 or 2. Don't forget frankincense and sandalwood, says Kathy. Those must be her favorites. Just try to be loud, and if you can't hear me, just do what my body's doing. Okay, so have your pillow and your blankies nearby just in case you want to like cushion your knee or do extra. Okay. So we're going to start off by grounding your feet. And you're gonna just try to move your body in a circle so that you feel every edge of your foot. So notice how your other joints move in order to make all of those edges touch. Oh, I forgot to turn on music. Sorry. Can you just get the air conditioner
You're
button?
not gonna sing to us?
Oh, maybe at the end. It go both ways if you haven't gone both ways yet. The next thing that I like to do is circle out my knees. Focus on that joint next. Eric's having trouble making the camera do what we want it to do. Sorry if you're watching at home.
Thank you, Eric.
Go the other way if you haven't yet. If your knees are crunching, that is a good thing that we're doing, because moving your joint to more of its full capacity stimulates your joint to make more fluid in there. So pop is a good sign. Okay, now we're gonna start rotating hips. And maybe you do it with your legs locked at first and see how far that goes down. And maybe you bend your knees next. Like you're doing the hula. At first, moving meditations were a lot more helpful for me than sitting quietly. Okay, once you've gone around a few times, next try to hold your hips still and move your spine around in a circle a few times. Yeah, your torso, thank you. Maybe you just do baby movements. Maybe you notice that on one side, it doesn't want to roll as far over, and that's okay. Then I'm going to go the other way. Just be in your body. Just notice whatever the sensation is. Don't think that your practice has to look like my practice, because it won't. Maybe yours looks better than mine. I don't know. Just feel what you feel. And that's okay, whatever it is. Okay. Bend your knees a little bit, sometimes helps. Next, I'm going to push my chest forward, and we're looking for opening in your upper back. So maybe squish with your shoulders added in there. Maybe popping out like that. Maybe you like your arms up in the air. Maybe cactus arms. Maybe you do a little side to side. We're getting all of those joints and all of those articulations to be better lubricated. Your body will naturally make more lubricant if you move them. That's why if you don't move them, you lose it. Move it or lose it, right?
Yes.
Sit on the couch. My emotion stays emotion, right?
Okay, next I'm going to take one arm and drive it up over to the side to stretch. You might pull with one hand, you might not. You might only be able to stretch up, and that's okay. Do it. Whatever feels good that way. How's your breathing? Check in a little bit. You have full deep breaths. Are you starting to... Do you want to go back the other way? Do you want to swing back again? Awesome. I'm going to do some shoulder circles. Ooh, and I'm going to do some slow shoulder circles so I can really stretch those parts that feel like cement. Lots of cracking. We don't do this very much, do we? Go the other way if you haven't already. I'm going to go up with my neck and down. And up with my neck and down. Maybe you do it slower than I do, maybe you do it faster, it's okay. Now I'm going to move from shoulder to shoulder. where you notice, oh, I can't turn very far that way. We're not judging that. We're just being like, oh, that's where we're at today. If you want to do any full circles, you're welcome to. If you have trouble with your neck, I recommend half circles. And I'm going the other way. When I did my CNA class, these were all a range of motion exercises that you do with your clients, so their joints don't stop moving. Moving to the arms. I'm circling through my elbows. How far can your elbows go? Now I'm going to pull them out the other way. Brush my face. Okay. Wrist rotation. This one feels so good, and I don't do it enough. And the other way, if you haven't already. And then I like to clench and let go. And clench and let go. That opens up your carpal tunnel. Ooh. Open the tunnel. Okay. The next thing I want to do is come. Oh, this is the best move ever. This is the slow pen pickup. Pretend like you dropped your pen, and you're gonna slowly get down there and pick it up. Maybe your knees are bent, maybe they're not. Do whatever your body needs that feels good. And then once you get your pen, you make it down there. You slowly come back up. Do it as juicy feeling as you want it to be. Anyone else want to drop your pen again? Maybe once. Maybe once more. Hello, floor. Nice, guys. This time I'm only going to come up halfway. I'm going to leave my hips bent. And I'm going to dangle right here. You can keep your back straight if it bugs you. If not, you can let go and you can just finger paint on the floor or hold your forearms if your fingers don't make it that far. You can sway a little bit. You can rock a little bit. You can say yes or no. You can have a lot of bend in your knees or none. Once you feel like that has started to loosen up, I'm going to put my fingers on the ground. And I'm going to come out and into squats. Oh, you hear that cracking? Yeah. I'm going to push my hiney up in the air. There goes my tail feather. And I'm going to bring it back down. I'm just going to lubricate this for a little bit. How many times does it take for my knees not to pop? At least 3.
Something happens like a bad thing, so.
Just means fluids moving around in there. At least 5. Okay, when I get down to the bottom one of these times, maybe down at the bottom, maybe your knees go out to the side, maybe they don't. And I'm just going to let my body weight hang on my ankles a little bit. Is this okay or is this uncomfortable for anyone? Is this a struggle? Knees?
Yeah.
So in that case, I would just maybe put one knee down. Or leave it up, whatever feels the best. Wiggle your hips in there as you go down and through. And now I'm going to come into an all-fours position. This is like 10 minutes. Sorry, I didn't practice this. It's already 10 minutes. Is this okay with you guys? Should we do a little bit more? A little bit more. Okay. So everyone's favorite, that final position is arching your back. Wait, this is bending your back. And then arching your back. So yogis call this cat and cow, but it just is like getting the full flexion and the full extension of your spine. And maybe you rock a little bit. If you notice if you come towards your hands a little bit, there's more stretching that could be done. Maybe you look back over a shoulder. Don't forget to breathe. Next, I'm going to come into a child's pose. So if you would like some more support, maybe your knees are bugging you, maybe you want to put a blanket under your knees or fold your blanket differently under your knees. Maybe your knees will come out wide so that you have more space on your chest. Maybe your knees will stay together. Maybe a pillow will go under your tummy. My knees kind of hurt when I do this one, so a pillow is nice. Maybe your hands stay out long in front of you. Maybe your elbows touch down. Maybe your hands come back behind you. If this is an uncomfortable spot, then please do feel free to move around or support your body in a way that makes it comfortable. Because we'll stay here about for 1 moment. 1 moment is like 6 really deep breaths. It's going to give your hips a long time to loosen up while we're here. So go ahead and sink into that and enjoy it. It's okay to put your legs out if you need to. Slowly wake those fingers back up. Come back up into a tabletop when you're ready. 2 more things that I want to do with you before we come into rest pose. If you can, take one arm up. And we're going to just lubricate the shoulder joint in a different way by weaving that hand underneath the hole that your other hand makes. And I'll come up and down a few times there. We call that threading the needle. Feel free to stay in the spot of that whole movement that you like the most. Once you're done stretching out that shoulder, put both hands back on the mat. I'm going to try to connect my phone. Oh, we're gonna meditate now. You probably don't want to watch us just laying down. So, see you later, peeps.